Hello, I'm Jim Patrick from the Yuma Main Library. In 1927, a remarkable German Shepherd dog named Rin Tin Tin came to Yuma to make a movie. At the time, he was one of Hollywood's biggest stars, and his movies were so popular that he became known as the dog who saved Warner Brothers. Today, I'm going to discuss Rin Tin Tin's life and legacy while highlighting his Yuma film, which was titled Tracked by the Police. Rin Tin Tin's own story is as inspiring as any of his movies. Near the end of World War I, an American soldier serving in France came across a German Shepherd and her 5 newborn pups in a bombed-out animal kennel. The soldier's name was Corporal Lee Duncan, and when the war ended, he boarded a ship to New York with 2 of the rescued pups. Lee Duncan's dogs, Rin Tin Tin and Nanette, were named after a pair of good luck dolls that were popular in France during World War I. The tiny dolls were frequently given to soldiers as good luck charms. Sadly, the first Nanette contracted pneumonia and died shortly after arriving in the United States. A second Nanette became Rin Tin Tin's lifelong mate and movie co-star. Lee Duncan and Rin Tin Tin traveled by train to California, where Lee spent countless hours training his young German Shepherd. He realized that Rin Tin Tin had special talents when the dog was able to jump over an 11.5-foot wall at a dog show. This gave Lee the idea of contacting Hollywood's movie studios about using Rin Tin Tin in their films. A couple of small roles for the Warner Brothers company soon led to leading roles, movie stardom, and big paychecks. The movie magazines treated Rin Tin Tin like a matinee idol. At the peak of his popularity, he reportedly received up to 12,000 fan letters per week. Rin Tin Tin is seen here with Al Jolson, Warner Brothers' other superstar. Jolson's The Jazz Singer came out in 1927, the same year as Rin Tin Tin's Yuma movie. The Jazz Singer was Hollywood's first talkie, and within a few years, silent movies would be nearly eliminated, and Rin Tin Tin would be dropped by Warner Brothers. Rin Tin Tin movies were popular all around the world. Several years after it was released, The Lighthouse by the Sea was shown to a very special audience in Amsterdam. For her 13th birthday party, Anne Frank's father Otto rented a movie projector and a copy of this 1924 Rin Tin Tin movie. In one of the first entries of her famous diary, Anne Frank noted that the Rin Tin Tin movie was a big hit with my classmates. These articles from February 1927 report that Rin Tin Tin and over 60 cast and crew members were coming to Yuma to make a film at the Laguna Dam. The filmmakers requested permission from the Bureau of Reclamation to spend approximately 3 weeks at the dam. The Laguna Dam was the first dam on the Colorado River, and its completion in 1908 marked the beginning of a new era for local agriculture, since water could now be diverted from the Colorado River for irrigation. Early Hollywood filmmakers soon began taking advantage of the dramatic possibilities of location filming at the Laguna Dam. The following video clip from Tracked by the Police gives a good idea of the kind of heroic action Rin Tin Tin performed in his movies. In this scene, the bad guys are attempting to sabotage the construction of a dam in order to flood the valley below. As the film's leading lady hangs desperately over the raging river, Rin Tin Tin must use his super canine powers to save the day. For over 100 years, the Yuma area has served as a filming location for motion pictures, and the most popular setting has been at the Imperial Sand Dunes. While most of Tracked by the Police was filmed at the Laguna Dam, in the following clip, Nanette and Rin Tin Tin are seen frolicking at the dunes. Although Tracked by the Police was filmed near Yuma, two of these posters inexplicably suggest that the movie has a northern setting. And while Jason Robards Sr. is billed as the film's leading man, Rin Tin Tin is clearly the top dog. According to this April 1927 article, Rin Tin Tin and Lee Duncan stopped off at the school in Bard, California to deliver candy Easter eggs to the school children who had faithfully greeted Rin Tin Tin each morning during the period of filming as he was being driven from Yuma to the Laguna Dam. Although Tracked by the Police had its Hollywood premiere in May 1927, the first Yuma screening was not until February 7, 1928. The movie played at the Yuma Theater, which is shown here in a photo from the same time period. There was a time when Lee Duncan was a wealthy man, but his devotion to Rin Tin Tin and the dog's offspring was so all-consuming that it frequently resulted in financial and personal setbacks for Duncan, right up to his death in 1960. When his first wife Charlotte filed for divorce in 1927, she named Rin Tin Tin as a co-respondent. She told the Los Angeles Times all he cared for was Rin Tin Tin. And when Lee Duncan's daughter Carolyn was asked if she ever experienced a sibling rivalry with her father's dogs, she replied, "No, there was no rivalry. The dogs came first." In her acclaimed bestseller about Rin Tin Tin, author Susan Orlean repeats an unsubstantiated rumor claiming that in 1929, Rin Tin Tin received the most votes for the Academy Award for Best Actor. As the story goes, the executives of Hollywood's major studios vetoed the voters' selection of Rin Tin Tin, choosing instead to award the first Oscar to the two-legged actor Emil Jannings. Rin Tin Tin was also a radio star, but despite claims that he voiced his own lines for these shows, it was usually a human voice imitating Rin Tin Tin. Rin Tin Tin's death on August 10, 1932, received front-page coverage in newspapers across the country. The emotional tributes to Rin Tin Tin were reminiscent of those published when matinee idol Rudolph Valentino died a few years earlier. Although his income had fallen when he left Warner Brothers, he maintained his popularity with moviegoers. Rin Tin Tin would have been a hard act for any dog to follow, but especially for one like Rin Tin Tin Jr., who apparently wasn't cut out for acting. It was a series of other German Shepherds who actually performed in the movies released under Junior's name. Rin Tin Tin III, a grandson of the original dog, was billed as the star of The Return of Rin Tin Tin from 1947. The boy in the film was played by Bobby Blake, who would later become infamous as actor Robert Blake. During World War II, Rin Tin Tin III was used to recruit volunteers for the Dogs for Defense program. A new wave of Rin Tin Tin popularity began in 1954 with the premiere of the television series The Adventures of Rin Tin Tin. Lee Aker, who portrayed an orphan boy named Rusty, was 11 years old when the series began its 5-year run. Like many former child stars, he struggled with addictions as an adult, and when he recently died at the age of 77, Lee Aker was listed as being indigent. The television program's popularity was boosted by an unprecedented merchandising campaign, which included books, comics, recordings, and toys, all of which are highly prized as collectibles today. A Canadian television series named Cats and Dog aired from 1988 to 1993 and starred a dog named Rudy. When the series was broadcast in the U.S., the title was changed to Rin Tin Tin Canine Cop, and all references to Rudy were overdubbed with the name Rinty. Interest in Rin Tin Tin was again revived in 2011 when best-selling author Susan Orlean published Rin Tin Tin, The Life and the Legend. This book was the main source for my presentation, and it should be the starting point for anyone wanting to understand Lee Duncan's frequent claim that there will always be a Rin Tin Tin